Welcome, dear students. In the previous class, we have discussed about tools and media of public relations. In this lesson, I talked about what are the medias related to the public relations, like newspapers, radio, television, social media, and as a public relations practitioner, we must be release press releases, press notes, and we have to give a briefs to the press people in the conference, press kit. So all these are comes under the tools for public relations practitioner. Let's discuss and also talk about how to prepare our journals, newsletters, brochures, and how to conduct open house exhibitions. All these we have discussed in the previous class. Once I recap the details, recap the subject again here. For writing press release, we have to follow some guidelines. In the guidelines, we have to include facts and figures, avoid grammatical mistakes, and also include your contact information. One more important point is make it brief. In case of it is a very lengthy, then the media persons who could not coverage the entire text. So try to make it in a brief. And also in a third person, we have to write in a third person because that is not your own. Instead of you have to say, here we have to say our company, means that is a third person. Another important tool is a press conference. Press conference is a collective interview of a media person. For example, if you have to contact one media person, in case of any crisis management, or you have to tell anything about your company, audit report, otherwise AGM meeting details, so you have to contact each person of a press people. Then it gives more hectic. Instead of that, you go with to conduct a press conference. That is a collective interview of a media person. This tool designed to generate hot news, that is defined as a news that is timely, significant, prominent, and it is relevant. It means directly communicating with the media representatives to place on record the organization's point of view on an important matter concern. When we will conduct a press conference in generally AGM meetings, means annual general body meetings, otherwise any crisis movement, crisis situation, we will conduct, means the company conducts via public relations department. In the press conference, how to organize the press conference? We have to give the purpose, venue, invitation, background material, and the press kits. And there is another session that is a question and answer. In the place, our company's CEO or managing director or vice chairman who presents at the press conference and who gives the answers to the questions by the press people, journalists, media persons. Another major tool is house journals, newsletters, open houses. All these are some tools for the public relations practitioner to do in his day-to-day life, day-to-day duty hours. There is some specific public relation disciplines that includes financial public relations. Sometimes we have to give some business strategy also to the company. In case we are not an MBA holder or we are not a managing director, we are not an executive editor, executive director. Even though sometimes if any issues, any matters relate, we know we have to give to the management about the financial relations that is related to the business strategy and consumer style, lifestyle public relations, because we are the channel through media that feedback mechanism also incorporated in the public relations practice. Then, so we know what are the public are expecting from us and what the public needs are. So on and off the public relations departments in many organizations or private agencies, they conduct the surveys. So based on the surveys, the feedback, they receive the feedback, and based on the feedback, they have to improve their quality in the products and they produce a new products, new designs, and new models. All this is possible with the public's feedback. Another specific public relations discipline is crisis communication. What will be happen here? Major crisis communications in case of many companies, there is some publicity related to the negative publicity. Then they have to see very recently we have Indigo crisis. Indigo plane, many planes are cancelled. So there is a crisis for 3-4 days. Then the public relations department of the Indigo, they have to manage this crisis management, responding in a crisis and give some feedback and how to restore the situation, issues. All this will comes under the crisis communication. Another specific discipline in the public relations is internal communication. Here means internal. Already I have discussed many times. Internal public and external public. Internal public means the company, its own employees and family members and managing directors, all those comes under the internal public. Whereas in external communication, external public, wholesalers, retailers, stakeholders, business partners, these are comes under the external communication public, external public. So internal communication is a major discipline in the public relations. Why? Because we have to communicate with each and every employee. Because the managing director or vice chairman or CEO could not contact from a bottom of the employee. In between the ground level employee and the CEO, the public relations department personnel, public relations officer, public relations assistant, public relations manager, corporate communication manager, so these are mediator between the CEO or MD or between the vice chairman and employees. Another important point is government relations. Because, for example, if we wanna, as a company, we have to start a new branch, we need some place. So we need to contact revenue department of the state government. We need to contact the electricity department of the state government. We need to take permissions from the local bodies. Maybe it is a municipal corporation or Gram Panchayati or municipality. These are some bureaucrats. In case of commerce and business, industry, Ministry of Industry, employees means bureaucrats of the Ministry of Business, Commerce, and industries of various levels, either in the state government or central government. So all these are the government relations. It is also part of the public relations practice. In case many corporate companies, more than 500 crore business turnover or some 100 crores business turnover, there is a fixation of these issues by one section. But many companies who depends on the public relations branch only. So they have the public relations officers have to contact various government institutions and bureaucrats, and sometimes we have to influence the bureaucrats also. Thus, the smooth work of the establishment of the new branch, new branch or new establishment, new unit, new product unit. These are the main activities by the public relations office. Another one is majorly there is a what we call public relations is not a wine and dine. It is a statement by the many public relations practitioners. Even though nowadays we have to come to that statement, but absolutely it is correct. But in case we have the situation is nowadays is different. So public relations officer is need to maintain to give a good hospitality to the press public, journalists, editors, reporters, correspondents. So food-centric relations is also part in the public relations practice. Consumer lifestyle public relations also is a part, and gaining publicity for a particular product or service through feedback, financial public relations, business strategy, crisis communication, responding in a crisis, internal communication, communicating with the company itself means employees, government relations, engagement engage and influence the bureaucrats, officers in the various departments. These are the special activities done by the public relations practitioner, public relations manager, public relations officer, public relations assistant. So so far we have talked about in the unit number 6 all these special disciplines related to the public relations officer. One more important point is recently we have electronic system. So practice of public relations using the new mass media, the internet, email, blogs, social media apps, social media networks, within the center stage may be called e-public relations. But what exactly that mean? E means e-public relations is the same E that comes from the mail and commerce. To me, the electronic medium of the internet. Earlier, some 15 years ago, 20 years ago, there is a very much risk for the public relations officers to once they prepared a public press release, then you have to assist, you have to give to the assistant to rush to the each and every print media organization, electronic media organization, radio station. Now the technology is emerged. Many public relations practitioners who are now practicing e-public relations means they are sending the press releases or any text, any image through various social media platforms, social media networks, and they are public relations officers on and off. They are updating their status in the Instagram. Their status means in the university or a company or a unit or a public enterprise. So they are updating their details in their social media platforms. Every company nowadays they are following social media platforms, social media applications. social media networking, both internal and external publics, and building relations between organization and its audience through internet. So, see, earlier only print copy of the newsletters. Nowadays, they are sending e-newsletters to the all employees through emails. This is a technology emergence. So it is made easy to the publications practice to dispersing material, disseminating the information to the various stages in the company and at the level of external public also. You know, we see in the brochures, we see pamphlets, there is a photographs. In the magazines, we see e-magazines or e-newsletters. Photographs are made a persuasive, powerful tool, medium to understand the information to the ordinary people also. So pictures are easily understood and remaining longer in memory. This is the main advantages for the photographs. So we must use, as a publications officer, we must use in the publication practice, we must use photographs, various kinds of photographs, including now we have a technology, color photographs, black and white and color. So color photographs and attractive photographs, many digital photographs we have, and also AI generated images we have nowadays. So all these activities we need to incorporate in the practice of our publications. Dear students, if you have any doubts, you may contact me. Otherwise, you may SMS in the chat box. I will read it and get you back with the clarifications. We learned about the importance of photographs and what is e-publications, the advantage of e-publications. Here we need to discuss. Here, the internet enables one to communicate with people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. That is 24/7. Because earlier, we know, in the evenings, publications officer who has to write a public test note, and in the evening hours, he need to send it to the all organizations through his person. In physical only we have, but here in the e-publications, we can instantly, in case of, for example, a crisis issues came to notice, then at the time, that is maybe at 12 o'clock. Even though at 12 o'clock also publication practitioner responds for the issue, he prepares a strategy, media relations strategy, then we send it to the media. Because nowadays, because what happens 24 hours news channels, every 1 hour there is a update in the social media network, there is no time limit. We experienced at 12 o'clock some message will be highlighted in our mobile phones. The mobile phones and latest tools, video terminal tools that made easy to the every person to access the information in instant. So that is, in case of we will follow the e-publications, this is the one major kind of an advantage for us. Another one is instant response. One can respond instantly to emerging issues via internet. Even though here, public means an employee, for example, crisis management, he has also some idea. So he can give the feedback instantly. It is possible with the e-publications. And one more major element is here global audience. So earlier in a print form that will goes to a very few people or a targeted people only. Now, in case our issue, our strategy, our media strategy, our media relation, in case we are to upload it in the electronic platforms, social media platforms, it may reach to the global also, where if a person who is in the Australia or a New Zealand or Japan or America, you can also instantly access the information. Audience feedback is one more very advantage in the e-public relations because it will give immediate response. Whereas in a print medium, there is a mechanism, we have to write a letter and send it to the unit, means public relations branch, then we have to open it, we have to again read it. All this takes 2 days or 3 days time, but it is made easy with the e-publications. Two-way communication process means already communication publications is a two-way communication process without any financial implementation because we could not pay any money to the media houses or social media persons. But that is why it is a cost effective. We could not print material cost, paper cost, colors cost, and the procedure we have to pay some wages to the printers. So we have to pay some bills to the printers. All these can be avoided in case we have used e-publications. But always e-public relations is not meant to meet the all kind of its public because sometimes a person who is illiterate and a semi-skilled person, he could not understand how to open a e-paper on the mobile phone. He don't know a PDF format. So sometimes we have to give because this is majorly it is a cost effective because many organizations, many public as per the 2025, some 2024 ends, some media related surveys reveals that almost 80%, 70 to 80% who are accessing internet facilities. So remaining 20% we have to give in print material also. For print material is itself a standard saving procedure. In case the computer or a hard disk will crash, hacked, we are not saved, means we are not put a backup. Then the printing material itself is useful for the information for the company. So limits means earlier there is a 100 copies, but now it is only 20 to 15 copies is required for printing material. So the 80% of the cost is here less cost. It is a saving to the company. We'll go with another unit. So far talked about in the unit number 6 public relations and also specific disciplines of public relations. Unit number 7, that is the public relations as a strategic management function. Management means here one thing we will it comes to our mind, that is the management means MBA persons. We have programs in many universities in India and abroad, all over. Master of Business Administration. There is a qualified persons who can manage the who can manage that company. But it is not exactly like that. The publications practitioner also has required the to do a management strategic management function. Let's discuss first about what is management, what are the characteristics in the management, what are the functions, what are the principles. Then what are the special disciplines in the management. Even though sometimes we know many are known as HR management, finance management, marketing management, all these all these are familiar words in the marketing. These words means these managements done by the managerial position persons only. Whereas public relations manager is also one kind of a manager. So he need to know all these kinds of managements. HR management, why it is required in a public relations officer, but there is particularly one HR manager many places, but some a small scale company there is no separate HR manager, but the role will goes to the public relations officer only. If in case there is no finance management, generally finance management is common for any kind of a public, any kind of office or unit or company, because finance is ultimately all the proprietors, managing directors, CEOs, and vice chairmen who their ultimate goal is to get profits for that company, that unit. So finance is somewhere one separate unit, marketing also separate unit. But even though we need to know when in case of any financial related issues, then public relations officers involvement is also required along with the financial related management. So that is why public relations practitioner who need to know the management functions also. Then definition of management. What is the definition? Management is concerned with resources, tasks, and goals. It is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling to accomplish organizational objectives through the coordinated use of human and material sources. This is the meaning, this is the definition for the management. Let's look at the characteristics of management. Reaping rich results in economic terms. So ultimately, every company or every unit or every corporate office, their ultimate goal is to get profits. Okay, reaping rich results in economic terms implies skill and experience in getting things done through people. This is a process, and this is also science. Science in why here it means here science. Science means not a physics or chemistry, botany, geology. Science means scientifical resolutions to manage in the crisis. So that is social science is also science. It is also a group activity. Management is a group activity. Management is a system of authority. Management involves decision making. Management it implies good leadership. These are the important characteristics of the management. Then we need to know the functions of the management. There is a Luther Gulick coined the word POSDCORD to describe the functions of management. Many management students who know this word post-code. So in the management means MBA persons, commerce, MCOM persons, they know this word. What is the functions of the management? First one is planning. Second one is organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. This is the full text of the post code book. We'll come back again to discuss about each plan and each word about the POSD and CORD in detail in the coming lessons. Now we will discuss about the functions of management. There is a prescribed the functions, division of division of work, authority, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, remuneration, centralization, order, equity, stability, initiative. These are the major principles. What will come in the division of work? Specialization of labor is necessary for organizational success. In case main HR department, there is a skilled person who have to tackle how to recruit and what requirements required for the produce a product. So the HR manager who need to know about which qualified person, which qualifications required for the particular post. For example, electrician. So generally, if electrician, in case of a MCOM person, BCom person, means a BCom graduate who is suitable in to do electrical work? No. For electrician, maybe ITI holder or a diploma holder or a engineering holder. So choosing and categorizing right work to the right person is a management principle. See, in the offices, we know office subordinates, first fourth class category, next senior assistant, junior assistant, superintendent, registrar, and executive engineer, like this kind of a hierarchy in the organizations, in the public sector units, in the offices, in the government offices, wherever it is. So each level is suitable. Division of work is important. If we call the electrician to give to the child to the breast, it is not a division of work. It is not a labor of dignity. So each person has its own nature of duties, nature of functions. So we have to assign them, and we have to order them to do those works. Next one is authority. Here, the right to give orders must accompany responsibilities. So each employee in the company has its own responsibilities. Those responsibilities derived by the management. So, for example, electrician, what are his functions already described whenever the appointment is done. In case of an accountant, what are the functions, duties, responsibilities designed for the accountant by the management. So, in the management, the authority is the right to give order must accompany the responsibility. Discipline. Obedience and respect help an organization run smoothly. Why obedience? See, many companies, respect and obedience is unity of, another one is unity of command. Unity of command. In this category, it is principle each employee should receive orders from only one superior. Okay. Another one is unity of direction. The efforts of everyone in the organization should be coordinate and focused in the same direction. See, one person, in case there is no direction, one labor means one person one technician who prepares only, for example, that is a footwear company. If there is no order, there is no direction, so all the technicians in the company, in the unit, they prepare only left shoes. But that is not a match. So the director will give proper directions to the all employees. Subordination of individual interest to the general interest. What is here? Resolving the tug of war between a personal or organization interest in favor of the organization is one of the management's greatest difficulties, because we see in many companies there is an internal war between the employees. So management principle is to subordination of individual interest to the general interest. Remuneration. There is a wage boards for the president, and there is a wage boards for the each categories, means companies, industries, fixed by the state government or central government. Sometimes if employees who work well, generally they gives remunerations, incentives, additional honorarium. So these all comes under the principle of remuneration of the management. Employees should be paid fairly in accordance with their contribution. And also laws related to the particular, if India, it is a laws and some acts related to the persons, means employees. So based on that, we have to decide the remuneration for each and every employee. Another principle is a centralization. The relationship between centralization and decentralization is a matter of proportion. Sometimes, some places, centralization is effective, and in some companies, decentralization is effective. The same is applies to the government offices also, uh, government units, public sector units. Public sector units means banks, government banks like Enterprises Bank, State Bank of India, Andhra, Union Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Canara Bank, and some public sector units like ECIL, BHEL, Singareni College Company Limited. So some companies required centralization, some companies require decentralization, but it is depends on the product outcome. So it is requires a balance between the centralization and decentralization. Another one is the scalar chain.